Well, what in the world is going on here? Who's ready to go see what kind of mischief we can get into? Welcome back, everybody. It's old Big Mike back out here in the Hoopty Barn with our Project 2025. And what in the world is going on here? Whoa. Well, let me shut this noise thing off. Should be good by now. I've had it on there all night. I don't know. Here, we'll do that number. We'll just unplug it. Anywho, so the reason I had that on there was yesterday I washed this dude, and as you Mopar guys know, especially big block Mopar guys know, that this pan up under here holds water or whatever on this valley pan. And so when I finished washing it, I took that, I blew out what I could. I took that and I sucked out what I could. And then I took WD-40 and sprayed the whole thing down real good with some WD-40. Try to expel all that excess water. So, it's for the most part dry. There's a couple little spots I'm going to have to, clean up a little bit. But for the most part, she's dry. But that's why she looks so shiny, because she's all coated in WD-40. I figure, yeah, ain't going to hurt it anyway to, maybe protect it from some of the rust and whatever. So, all right, I guess today we are going to start working on putting this engine together and see if we can't get it to a somewhat of a starting point. So hold on, let me get some stuff together, and we'll see what we can come up with. All right, so it was a good plan until it wasn't. Show you. So I figure I got my carburetor. I was gonna put it on, but guess what? I don't have my carburetor studs, and the gasket that I had is the wrong gasket. So I'm gonna have to go get those. And the plugs, I figured, they'd probably be all right, but I might as well change them out while I got it here and easy to change. And these are busted. All three of these are busted, so I figured I'd change them out. And about 3 years ago or so, I went to an estate sale, and the guy was a retired mechanic, and he had a whole bunch of stuff laying around. And these may not be exactly right, but anyway, I was looking at them versus the one I pulled out, and I mean, they line up pretty much directly. And I think that's what I'm going to go with. I mean, for now anyway, at least just to start it, get it running. So yeah, I got all this, got all that junk, not a single daggum carburetor stud or gasket over there. You can believe that. And I'll get into the other electronics. I'll show you my little electronics cabinet. Bunch of old school, new old stock points and resistors and rotors and condensers and just all kinds of stuff. Flashers, oil pressure switch. Anyway, I've got some of the stuff, but I don't have all the stuff that I need to go forward. So I got to go get some studs and a gasket, and I'll be back. Well, that was painful. What kind of auto parts store doesn't carry, just standard carburetor studs and even just some gasket material so you can make your own gasket? Anyway, none of them, I had to go to 4 different places. None of them had the like factory gasket, or, well, 3 of them didn't have, 2 of them didn't have this, 2 of them didn't have that. I was just like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so now I got to go out and do other work. So I'll just have to get back on it tomorrow. Alright, let's try this mess again. So now we got our stuff. Gonna build a gasket for the bottom of the carburetor, put some studs in, and we'll get our carburetor mounted, and then we'll move on to changing out plugs and all that fun stuff. And I got a handful of old different wires and stuff. We'll have to put a new end on that one, but anyway, we'll do something, make something happen. Alright, so I just was thinking about this and thought I'm going to show y'all my method for making this kind of a gasket. I already got started, but anyway, I know we got these holes under here for the mounting studs, and it's got me a little punch so I can center the holes, find about where they're at. This will get them centered, and then alright, so that's my first thing. And then make sure I got nice clean holes, I'm going to use that right there. Put that right over the hole, down on a piece of wood, hammer, and we'll see. Sexy. Kind of got a little deep. I guess I better dig that out. There. Alright, now I got my pocket knife handy. Little edge left. Beautiful. Alright, voila. Now, guess that doesn't matter, it'll stay. Alright, let's see where we're at. Hot dog. She lines up. How about that? So, let me get my studs. All right. Hot dog. Now, take my razor and I'll just finish cutting this out. So I've got it there to hold it steady, and I'll just finish cutting out the shape and all that with my razor. And we'll get it as close as we can. I mean, within reason. All right, I'll be back in a minute. Alright, well, let's just see if we can get this dude. I got this linkage here. Okay, and that goes on here somewhere. Put this away for now. Alright, let's see. Hot dog. It's starting to kind of look like a motor. It's amazing how just adding a carburetor makes all the difference in the world in appearance. Looks more complete. Wish I knew where all these vacuum things went to. One there, one there. Maybe somebody can tell me. One back here. I don't know. All right. Get a wrench, tighten that down. Figure I'll just do it like everything else, just kind of a little bit at a time. Don't want to tweak anything too much. I want to put like about 110 pounds of torque on this. 120, 130. 150. probably snug enough there. As long as she don't leak, that's all I care. If she does, I'll pull her off and I'll put some of that goop on there. Put about, I don't know, 3 gallons of RTV on it. All right, so there's that. Now I gotta figure out the linkage. Well, I know this all goes somewhere. Maybe that goes to the passing gear right there. This is the linkage that was on here when I got this thing. Well, I'm thinking that probably goes right there. Most probably. Not exactly sure how. Because it wants to be kind of weird. Alright. There. And that one will go to my throttle cable. This has got to go on here somehow. I'm not sure what holds that on. I think there's like one of them little cup things, little holder honor thing. I don't know what you call it. I know I got to have a double return spring here. Probably go from right here to here, I would assume. My double spring there. I'm sure this is just for the choke. So, all right. I'm not sure about all that, so I'll get to that here in a bit. All right, next things, I'm gonna change out the plugs. It is already getting hot, hot, hot in here. I went through hay bales this morning, and it's about 12 o'clock-ish, and it's like 100 freaking degrees in here. So I don't know how much longer I'll go, but I'll go for a while. So anyway, spark plugs. All right, so I got to change the end of all of these because they both got the same end on them because they're for different type of distributor. It don't work. So I've got them. I just gotta change all these out. So, all right, another delay. All right, so here we are. We got new plug wires all installed. I decided to put all the red ones on one side and all the black ones on the other side. Well, considering 2 of the red ones are really short. Anyway, I thought, yeah, why not? Maybe I'll just make it a little easier to keep them separate. Anyway, so here's the thing. Some of you know I'm a little bit of a collector. And I ain't none too smart. Well, you remember I said I had to go and get some carb mounting studs and all that stuff, and didn't have the right gasket. Well, I didn't look in the right spot. Apparently, I have a couple of spacers. I got a spacer with the studs and the gasket. That one right there too. So here's where I'm at. I've got that old thermoquad on there, and that's what came on this engine, just like that. Well, I don't know, and I don't know how important this is, and if I'd be able to modify that. If I was to put one of them spacers underneath that, if that would do any good, if that would help or hinder or any of that. And it's about 1,000,000 degrees in here. I think I'm done playing with this thing for right now. So I'm going to leave this one right here. So I need y'all in the comments to tell me, Should I pursue one of these? Possibly, maybe. I don't know. Should I just go ahead and continue forward? I don't know. So, do me a favor. If you ain't subscribed, go ahead and do that and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Say, well, you big dummy, if you knew anything about engines, you'd already know which way to go and we wouldn't have to tell you. And I'd say, well, that's probably correct, but it is what it is. So, till next time, you know the drill. Y'all keep watching. I'm going to keep working.